Това видео достига до вас благодарение на Project Audio Systems, аудиотехника, Sennheiser, Goldring, QED и Q-Acoustics.
Здравейте, приятели! Отново съм аз, Тони, с поредното интервю и този път имам удоволствие да говоря с господин Марк Рагет, дано не убих името. I hope I did not kill the name.
Absolutely.
И разбира се, това интервю пак ще бъде направено на английски. Ще говорим за Naim и разбира се какво представлява Naim. So first of all, Mark, thank you very much for your time spent and
My pleasure.
really appreciate the time invested so we can speak about Naim in general. So can you walk us a little bit about Naim and a bit about history of Naim and its core values?
Of course, yeah, no problem. So Naim, as a business, is 51 years old now. So it was established in 1973 by a gentleman called Julian Verica. And Julian was an entrepreneur. He was somebody who was very interested in performance. It didn't matter what he did. It was all about performance. So, for example, he was a racing driver in the 1960s. He used to drive Minis in championships.
Mini Cooper.
Mini 850S.
Ah.
And he won a couple of championships. And anyone who'd met Julian would be surprised because he was actually quite a big guy in a small car. And so for him to actually win those championships, he must have been an exceptionally good driver. So he was into performance with cars. He was into performance with yachting, another one of his passions, sailing.
Yeah.
He wanted to sail faster than everybody else. And, of course, audio, which he's probably most well known for. It was all about performance. It was all about listening to live concerts, coming home, listening to the recorded media at the time, which would have been, of course, record or, audio cassette, realizing that live music sounded so much better than in his home or in his system. He then bought a better amplifier, an amplifier that reviewed very, very well, but it made his system sound worse. So this got him thinking, why does it sound worse? And he established quite quickly that actually the source of the hi-fi system was the most important part. Because if you lose information right at the source, you'll never regain it. You'll never capture it again. You've lost it forever. So you had to have a really, really good source, not a really, really good amplifier and a poor source. So having discovered this, he then met with a guy, Ivar Tiefenbrunn from Lynn, who makes the LP12 turntable, which is renowned as being a very, very good source. And between them, they went around the world at that time, shall we say, evangelizing about how important the source was, bearing in mind that at the time, in the mid-70s, people were using very, very big loudspeakers because the thought process was that the speaker was the main thing.
Yeah.
It's not the main thing. It's equally as important as everything else, but you need to make sure that we feed the signal correctly into the speaker in the first place. So he started to design his own amplifiers because he couldn't find one that he liked the sound of. This was back in the 70s, early 70s, and here we are 51 years later. We have a full range of products now and a very successful business.
And all of them follow this very nice, sleek, very modern. Now we have with displays where you can even in our showroom, for example, we have the Atom HDMI and the headphone ones, and we have with room setup. So new technologies are constantly being developed. And what is your point of having all-in-one versus having all the separate components?
Okay. So first of all, if we just go back to the original history of the brand, the original history of the brand was very purist. It was you need an individual component to do an individual task. This is how you got the very best performance. That is still the same case today, okay? Having a dedicated streamer, a dedicated preamp, a dedicated power amp, and power supply upgrades is how you achieve much, much better performance. However, like everything in electronics, there are compromises. So if somebody wants high performance, but in one box, the compromise is sound quality, sadly, because you're putting all of these elements into one small enclosure. And in electronics terms, things don't always sit in harmony with each other. They're fighting each other. You know, there are noisy elements in the design, and there are very sort of quiet signal carrying paths that you need to, you know, protect and make sure that noise does not get into those signal paths. So when you put everything in one box, that is a much harder battle to win, and you won't ever win it. So you lose a lot of clarity and performance in sound because basically the noise is kind of masking the signal. It provides a barrier to truly getting deep into the recording. So you do the best you can with obviously what you're given. If you're putting stuff in a small box like an Atom, this is much, much harder to achieve because there's no distance, there's no space. When you start looking at maybe something that's a little bit wider in its build, you then have better opportunities to pull things away from each other, keep them away. But you also have a good appreciation of what circuits need to work close together as well. So there are those that perform better close. There are those that perform better if they're separated. The bigger box allows you that flexibility.
So because of the space and everything,
So like this is a streaming preamp. So obviously it is more than one element within one box. Actually, this is the NSC 222, and it's a streaming preamp, but with a high-quality headphone amp, a phono stage, and of course a DAC, all built into the same box.
And out of the Naim portfolio, which ones do you use at your home? In your personal
that's
system?
a really good question.
I know.
We'd be here all day if I listed all of my.
Which is your let's put it differently. Which is your favorite one, which you mostly enjoy and never change?
Well, there are a few. I've got the original Naim CD player, which is a 2-box CD player called a CDS. That will never leave my house.
That was the first CD player that was released by Naim, was it?
Yes. So it was a top-loading machine.
Yeah.
Again, it went against what everyone was doing at the time, which was transport and DAC. We were doing transport DAC in one box and then a separate power supply in another box. That will never leave my house. My speakers won't leave my house, so I'm using some Naim SBL loudspeakers because my room is very small. I'm a poor guy, right? I spend too much on Wi-Fi. So my speakers need to go flat against a wall in a small room because I don't have the ability to have a speaker that sits in the room. So unless I change my house, my speakers will stay forever. And recently I've bought the Naim turntable, the Solstice turntable. So I like both digital and analog sources. I don't have a preference one over the other.
This is going to be actually my next question. Which one do you prefer, analog or digital?
Digital for convenience, analog for pure musical enjoyment.
Okay.
So, but equally, if you're using them at a very high level streamer, a very good streamer like the ND555, for example, it's pretty close to getting to real high level kind of analog reproduction.
And one question which we ask everybody on the show, and then we're going to make a compilation, is how would you describe Naim, in this case, in 3 simple words?
3 simple words. My 3 simple words are, we're the best.
Okay.
How can I say any different?
I had so many interviews with the team. Nobody actually responded that.
But other people refer to Naim when they say, okay, describe the sound of Naim.
Yeah.
And they would use 3 words as well, which are pace, rhythm, and timing. Okay, that's 4 words because we got "and" in there. But pace, rhythm, timing.
Okay. And what is next with Naim? Are there any new products coming recently? Okay, what can we expect this year? Something that we can hear?
There's nothing new that you can expect this year. And even if there was, I couldn't tell you because it's not my place to tell you.
That's right.
But what we have here at the show here in Munich in 2024 are a couple of products which have been launched. So they're in the public domain. People know about them, but they've perhaps not experienced them yet. So they are debuting here at the Munich show. One product you will get to hear in a minute in the main demonstration area. This is a new Unity product, higher powered Unity product, We've had some customers that love the look of Unity. They like the all-in-one aspect, every technology in one box. It looks fantastic. It sounds fantastic. And they
look fantastic?
It looks amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because sometimes sound is not only for the ears, it's also for the...
No, these are kind of quite lifestyle products as well. This is, yes, it's about audiophile, it's about the sound, but actually you don't have to compromise the looks to get great sound. You can have both if you try hard enough. I think the Unity kind of ticks all of those boxes, but our customers wanted the same form factor, they wanted the same look, the same sort of feel, the same sort of tactility that the Unity products give the end user, but they wanted something with a bit more power to be able to drive a bigger space, to be able to drive bigger loudspeakers. And the Nova PE, the Power Edition, as we call it, is that product to fill that demand. And this is 150 watts per channel into 8 ohms. And this is a Class D amplifier, which is, some people think new for name. Is not new for name at all. We've been using Class D in the right applications for many, many years. So, for example, our relationship with Bentley, all of the systems in the Bentley cars are Class D. Our Muso products, of course, are Class D. So these are not new. Our new CI product, because that's the other product that we are showcasing and launching here, is this little product over here called the Unity. It's a CI product, predominantly. But it's
CI stands for customer installer.
Custom installation.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, sorry. And this product can be used just like a standalone streaming amplifier with a pair of speakers, which is how we're demonstrating it here in this event. And this is new. It's a streamer, a power amp, a preamp, all the DSP, the DAC, everything in one box. Again, 150 watts, Class D. Very powerful. It's just like a 2-channel solution, but also can be used to basically provide sound around your house with complementing amplifiers, so you can have multi-zones, many speakers within those zones, and control those zones perfectly, have the right, shall we say, characteristics of frequency response to each driver, because you can model that all within the integrator application.
That was going to be my question. How can I integrate, let's say, in Home Assistant or something like that?
Well, you use
home automation.
A home it can mix in. So you Crestron, Control 4, Savant, RTI, Elan, all of these other custom install ways of controlling your life.
Yeah.
The Naim system can be controlled through those platforms as well.
Okay.
The key thing with this product is if you're buying a Naim and Focal solution, then all of the Focal CI speakers, all the EQ settings and parameters are already preset within the device. You just have to choose the speaker that you're using.
Which one you want.
And it
have the best patch.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And it's
okay, so thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate your time here.
No problem.
And really looking forward, if not this year, what will bring Naim also in next year. We're greedy people and we really like new toys. И, както винаги, аз бях Тони, до следващото интервю.